All right, everybody. So in our last exciting episode, we were looking at area of timberland, and we did one for all counties in North Carolina. And then we did the second one where we refined it a little bit, and we said we want to see the area of timberland by ownership, which turned out to be over here. And then we wanted to refine it even further and filter out just Haywood County. When we did, it gave us this row with the Evalidator ID 371601. That is the ID for Haywood County. 37 is North Carolina. Whenever you look at IDs for states, 37 is always North Carolina. And then 1601 is the Haywood County within North Carolina. So when you're working with a particular county, just become familiar with the Evalidator ID so you can confirm that to make sure that it's the correct county that it's giving you data for, because it doesn't really give you that information down below. But excuse me, those of you who are into SQL or standard query language for databases, that's the query that you just created. Okay, so just for that one little thing. So pretty interesting. All right, so I'm going to back up a little bit and go back to the main Evalidator screen. And let's take a look at our questions today, or on this one here. We're going to move down away from area, and we're going to start looking at volume. All right. So I want to know the volume of timberland by county of major hardwood and softwood species groups. Okay. So that's a little tricky. Well, the first thing I want to do is make sure that I have volume of timberland. Okay. Now I've got to decide what I want. Do I want everything that's 5 inches or larger? Do I want just the growing stock, which what they define that as it's stuff that's actually going to be merchantable without crap in it, and that's 5 inches, or do I want just all live trees 5 inches? Okay. How about just the saw log portion of saw timber trees, 10 inches or above, and have that in cubic feet? Or how about the net volume of saw timber in international? You can pick any one of these, depending on what you're trying to glean from the information. Let me just go with saw timber trees, board feet international, okay? Just for fun. And then I'm going to go down. I don't need a denominator for this one, so I'm going to go limit retrieval to the most current inventories. And I scroll down, I find North Carolina. Hit continue. And so the question was, I want to do it by county. So I want all the counties, right? So I just make that my row variable. And then my column variable, I can go down and you'll see species groups, major, okay? And so let me go ahead and select that. And I don't need to do any filtering because I want to see all the counties. Okay. If I wanted to filter out to a specific species, I could do that under Add Clear Filters, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go give me everything. And so there it is. Okay. Major species groups, softwoods, hardwoods. You see hardwoods outdoes the softwoods across the state. All right. So maybe half again as much. And then if you want to go to Haywood County, you're going to see it grossly outdoes 2.1 billion board feet as opposed to 184 million board feet. So very good information. How's the standard error or the sampling error? Still not great, right? So for all species, it's 1.8%. Hardwoods, it's 2.5%. Both hardwoods and softwoods are about 2.5%. Still acceptable at the state level, but then when you start looking at the county numbers, it's still, they're ferociously large. Okay, so if I like this and I want to keep it and pull it to my spreadsheet where I could do some more work with it later, again, I go Control A, Control C, and then I'm tabbing over to my spreadsheet, wherever you may be. There you are. And I'm going to create a new spreadsheet table. I just click down here, create a new spreadsheet, and I'm going to go Control V, or I could just right mouse click and paste. And Control V is paste. I like to think of it as Velcro. Okay, you Velcro it in there. So this one's going to be volume. We'll see volume by county and species group. Look at all that data you've just created in no time flat. Right? Unbelievable. All right, so let's go back to our questions and see what else we could find out. How about just the volume of timberland in Hayward County by species? Okay, by individual species. All right, so this one might be a little trickier, but no, it's actually not. In fact, this one's going to be very simple, but we will need to use the filter. So I'm going to tab back to Evalidator, hit the back arrow, and go all the way back. And so this time I'm still going to stick with volume of sawtimber trees. Okay. Notice that they're using international. I think you might remember in measurements that we talked about Forest Service. That's the board foot rule they like to use is international. So that's usually what they report in. Limit retrieval to most recent inventory. So I'm good here. I just need to make sure I got North Carolina selected. Go continue. Now, I don't have individual species as row variables, as far as I know. Let's take a look. Oh no, I do have species there. How about in columns? I have species groups. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and as a row variable, I'm just going to do species. Okay, I don't need to do a column variable. I could if I wanted to. I could pick something else here and take a look at it. I'm just going to leave it all livestocking for now. And but I am going to add a filter. Okay, and I'm going to filter it for Hayward County. Okay, and all ownership classes, just so you can see what else is in here. If I have various ages that I want to have as a minimum, a maximum age of the class, or the minimum, maximum slope that I might be interested in, or various forest types, or how the stand was created. Was it a natural stand or artificially created stand? Site class, okay, so that's cubic feet per acre per year. I can choose high or low site indices. Physiographic classes that I might be interested in. So there's lots of ways of filtering. Or if there were just various species that I wanted to group it out by, or just, let's say I was only interested in longleaf pine and slash, I'd click on, I would select that one, okay? Or if there's various tree diameters that I'm interested in, or I can actually create my own additional SQL. You have to be pretty good at writing SQL language there. So I can query their database for anything I want, okay? So, but the only thing I wanted here right now was just to make sure that Hayward County was going to be filtered out. Hit show results, and there you go. So there's my species. Pretty cool, huh? How many? What's the board foot volume of red red maple in Hayward County? It's 138 million board feet. So Control A, Control C, go to my spreadsheet, create a new table right here, and paste it. Change its font to 8. If I wanted to list this as who's the best, I mean, I could go and rearrange this stuff so that I've selected all that, I copied it, and I'm going to paste it over here. Oh, come on. Okay, so paste it, and then I can just go ahead and do data, sort. I'm going to sort by column I. And I'm going to go from the smallest to the largest. Actually, I'm going to go from the largest to the smallest. And now I can see in order who is the, where is the highest volume in Haywood County. By far, good old yellow poplar. Northern red oak is next, chestnut oak, white oak, red maple, pig nut. Okay, so if I wanted to know in the order what are the most valuable species, or not valuable, but by volume, which are the most important species in Haywood County, there we go. Okay, pretty cool. So the last query I'm going to do is actually going to be using the numerator and the denominator. And I hope I could do this in the last 4 minutes that I've got. So I'm going to go all the way back, and I want to know, let me go find my question here. What is the growth to harvest of live timber in Haywood County? Okay, so I want to know all live timber, everything that's 5 inches and above. So this time I'm going to find my growth data down in the numerator side. So timberland, average net annual growth of live trees. Okay, I'll select that. Then I'm going to go down and I'm going to find removals. And it's underneath mortality. There we go. Average annual removals on timberland. I want to make sure I'm doing growth on timberland. I want to make sure I'm doing removals on timberland. Annual average removals of timberland of live trees. Okay, so that's the one I want. I hit continue. Select North Carolina. Continue. And I don't really need anything here. Oh, no, I do. I need, no, actually, I don't need. All I need to do is go to, filter out Haywood County. So I click OK, or continue. If I wanted to see all counties, whoops, let me back up. It didn't like what I did. I'm going to go ahead and select county code name. If I wanted to see all the counties, that's probably just as good as anything. I could just pick Haywood County out of that. Okay, or I can go and do a filter and filter for Haywood County. But let's just not. So, and so what we're left with is one of those growth to removal ratios. Okay, so Avery County has grown 19 times more than they're removing. Ooh, Beaufort's removing less. All right, so that's an example where it's less than 1. And Beaufort County is one of those counties in the eastern part of the state where periodically growth is outstripped by removals. Okay, Cabarrus is just not a, that probably shouldn't even really rate. That's not probably a huge forestry county. But let's take a look at Haywood County. These mountain counties. Look at that. We're about 3 times we're growing at a rate 3 times higher than we're removing. Okay, so if you're looking at sustainability, that's the kind of thing that you get to see. If you scroll down a little further, it actually gives you, this is the volume of growth. This is the numerator estimate. So this is the volume of growth. And then you go down a little bit further, and there's the removal, okay, taking place, the volume of removal. And then, of course, so it gives you the values for the numerator and the denominator. And then, of course, it gives you the sampling error and then the number of points. Okay, so lots and lots of information there. I can go ahead and do a Control-A, Control-C, and go to my spreadsheet, create a new sheet, paste that bad boy in there, change its font, And so now I've got notch